Yo, what is going on YouTube? I know this is completely unorthodox for my channel in terms of scheduling and all that stuff, but we are here with a super early upload because I was supposed to go to work here in like 8 minutes, but they decided to push my shift up 2 hours. So I have time to make a video. Well, I only worked 6 hours today now, so that's pretty fucking awesome. But I'm gonna make this video real quick and then kind of relax until work, and then after work we're gonna have to watch The Strangers because my boy Chippy has recommended it. So shout out to you, Chippy. We're gonna watch the 2008 one. We're just gonna work our way up throughout the days or throughout the weeks. You know, it might take a couple of weeks to catch up because I have other content I want to make, but we will get to it soon enough. So, we are here to talk about the fourth episode of You, Father Figure, or not father figures, Jesus Christ, it's called The Captain, for fuck's sake. So we're just gonna somewhat quickly, kind of talk about, just kind of talk about it, and then yeah, just have a big old discussion. Let's get it. So we begin the episode with a twist, and this is something the show didn't do in their first 3 episodes. Beck gets a voiceover, and she's the one that's talking. We get her point of view, which is really fucking awesome. I never thought the show would do that, but I think that is a super, super cool detail. It's really funny because as you're listening to the voiceover, Beck always sounds like she just woke up from the most satisfying nap of her life. Um, yeah, and I think it's really funny when Beck describes Joe's face like after he came really soon as that Trump just took Pennsylvania look before she pivots to thinking about ordering food. The awkward silence is broke. Well, we get to that. We're starting where we left off with the cliffhanger from last episode where Joe came like in like 8 seconds. uh, but the awkward silence is broken by the buzz of Beck's phone. A text from someone she's got saved as the captain, which is super fucking weird, obviously. So the captain, we learned, paid for the bed and Beck's phone bill. Very, very, very interesting. We're wondering, you're watching and you're kind of wondering who this character is. I knew Beck couldn't pay for that bed herself. But still, if she's so desperate for cash, why waste this hard-won jackpot on a bed frame? It is strongly implied that Beck has a sugar daddy situation, which it turns out she does, but like literally, like this is actually her dad. Like, it's kind of fucking crazy. It's kind of fucking hilarious too. The show does kind of like play. I feel like they did that on purpose. Like sugar daddy and like her actual dad is fucking funny. But yeah. Which makes this both more and less gross than initially insinuated. If you were meeting your estranged dad at a Dickens festival, would you really go shopping for your outfit at a lingerie store? Would you refer to your arrangement as whoring? Would your aesthetic be Victoria's Secret pirate wrench with Pinterest hair? Like what are we doing? Lingerie and super like quirky bun? Like what the fuck? You're meeting your dad at a festival, dude. Whatever. Whatever. For at this juncture, Joe is spying on Beck's text and has no idea who the captain is. I mean, he's wondering like us. There's kind of like a moment of suspense in the show where they don't reveal who this is. All he knows is that this sexual debut did not go as planned, and he bails without saying goodbye. He doesn't even want to say another fucking word to her. He is super embarrassed. So, cut to Peach, talking shit about her other friends. Annika wouldn't know a good dick if you hit her over the head with it. Sheesh. And encouraging Beck to practice self-love by ghosting Joe. Like, what an asshole. We really learn about her throughout this series already. Like, she is a fucking asshole, man. But Beck is distracted because everyone in her workshop called her writing treacly, which is just perfect. Yeah, Blythe gets a book deal. Like, I wonder what would happen if Blythe gets a book deal or something, but insists on working exclusively with someone else because I feel like, yeah, I don't know. She's a really interesting character. We'll get to her, I guess. Peach Salinger, who, let's not forget, is a descendant through some unclear means of a one J.D. Salinger, advises Beck cool it with writing so much about her dad in these thinly veiled ways and find other demons to focus on. Which is very true. Like, obviously, writing about her dad can be very therapeutic, but she does need to shift off of that because then people are going to get very suspicious in her writing camp and, like, what the fuck are you doing? So, I'm just saying, stop killing puppies, write fresh. That's really good advice. I mean, Peach for once, like, has something nice to say. Also, she's a better friend than I realized if she's out here reading Beck's treacly rough drafts. So I guess so. Beck lies to preach about her weekend plans, pretending she has some writer's retreat to go to, and hypes herself for the sad motel with a mantra we would all do well to remember. Brittany got through 2007 though, right? Which was one of the funniest, like, wildest lines of the episode. I thought that was very interesting, very like out of left field. Like the only, I mean, to be fair to Beck, the only thing she really lies to her friends about is writing. So whatever. So, just as the captain pulls up and we are about to find out his costume kinks, we are back to Joe. We're kind of getting to his point of view of the situation. Joe, who has been spying on Beck from across the parking lot, is reliving his poor performance, moaning, not incorrectly, "I've reduced myself to an anecdote." And then, as he watches Beck report on the occasion to her friends, "My dick reduced to carton food items," which again is another very iconic moment from this episode. Did Joe bring Beck's phone to her apartment? Bold move. I mean, that really is a bold move of him to do, which, yeah. Anyway, the captain is Beck's dad. We've learned that. Beck has been telling everybody her dad overdosed and died, so we eventually discover Beck's dad overdosed and survived and ditched Beck's family to start fresh with a Christian mommy blogger, and rather than divulge this painful humiliation to the world, and let's be real, because she wants to seem more interested and complex, Beck has been telling everybody that her dad is dead. She would rather phase this out of her life. She would rather keep this out of her personal life. But she still sees him on the low. But she can't let people know that, though. It's very complicated. So now Beck grits her teeth through particularly degrading family rituals, like attending this Dickens festival with Dad's do-over family, so the captain will keep sending her money. I mean, she's almost like finessing him, like father-daughter time for some money. The snotty teen daughter, who looks absurd but frankly is much more appropriately attired for this event than Beck is, accidentally lets it slip that her mom and the captain are having a baby, which means no more money for Beck. They have to pay for the fucking baby, of course. Yeah, that's very tough for her to hear, and it's very tough for her to hear it from someone that she hardly knows at all. So, yeah, back at the ranch, Peach is doing recon on her missing copy of Ozma of Oz, which she just knows Joe stole. I mean, who else at that party would have came in her fucking room and in the book room and stole books? Like, what? She swings by the bookstore, which is important because she meets a great character in Ethan, who describes undeniable bombshell Shay Mitchell thusly. Kinda hot, but that might just be a type thing. I don't know. Shay Mitchell's a very good looking woman, though. I will say that. So, and then Joe gets made at Dickens Fest. He smooth talks his way out of this by saying it's something he does annually as a bookseller. She literally finds out he is there, and it's like one of the most awkward things we have seen on the show so far, and I'm sorry if this video is going to be long. But that's pretty clever, I must say. Beck buys it. I'll also give credit to Joe, who is a psycho and a stalker and a murderer, never forget that, for being self-effacing and quite charming about the other night. Beck's spot then gets blown up when the captain strolls right up to her and introduces himself as her dad, because clearly he did not get the memo that he's supposed to be playing dead. Yeah, you're not supposed to be showing yourself to my friends, like, at all. But yeah, at least Joe is able to, like, realize the situation and realize, like, it's kind of funny to laugh at. So that's really nice, really, like, wholesome moment there for Joe. So Beck explains her lie, and Joe forgives, and everybody goes to dinner in this cosplay, I guess. So as one might expect, it all goes sideways, with Christian mommy blogger accusing Beck of treating her dad like an ATM, and Beck ranting right back, and Beck flees dramatically to a scenic gazebo, as one would usually do dramatically on a TV show. And I really like this out of Beck. I really like the pride. I mean, obviously she has a lot of nerve. Like, her father is giving her money, but at the same time, like, don't fucking talk to me that way. Don't, like, amount me to some ATM of my father. Like, what? Or my dad's my ATM. Like, that's not, like, really? You're assuming shit about people and you're a fucking Christian? Like, come on. Do you want him dead? Joe asked about Beck's dad, and I'm very intrigued by the idea of this show turning into a thing where Joe and Beck become hit people together. It really reminds me of Dexter and what was her name, Hannah, from that show. I don't know if you guys remember, if any of you guys have been around long enough on the channel from when I reviewed that, but yeah. But no, Beck just wants Joe to go and leave her alone with her issues in her 19th century strumpet dress. The captain finds her moping there, and they have a pretty legitimate heart-to-heart, considering he begins with Beck informing him that she tells people he's dead. All of that feels extremely fact-checkable, by the way. The captain is on Facebook, but I guess a perk of having self-absorbed friends is that none of them will ever dig into your past. Like, they don't really give a fuck about you, Beck. They just want to be friends with you. Use you as a pawn. But that night, Beck cannot sleep, but she can write for fucking once. This is awesome to see Beck do this and finally break grounds for herself. She does such a good job that Blythe reaches out to say the story gave her chills, and she is, I quote, there for it. Oh yeah, she's there for it. Beck is there for this influx of validation, so she rushes to Joe's horrid, terrifying apartment and goes, they say girls with daddy issues are really good in bed, which, Jesus, man, like, how could you resist something like that? Seriously. The best part of this sequence is that Joe's apartment is littered with all the stuff he's stolen from Beck, and he has to kind of strategically distract her with his mouth while his hands frantically stuff all the evidence between couch cushions. But where's Ozma of Oz? Inquiring Peach wants to know. Speaking of Peach, she has one of those I'm solving a mystery berets, and she has bedbugs. Even wealth cannot protect you from bedbugs. Nothing can protect you. I need to level with you. This is extremely real, real for me. I've had bedbug invasions before, and it's kind of crazy seeing a fucking rich person have them. So, you can kind of connect with Peach Salinger in some way, I guess. Maybe that's the purpose of the show doing that, which is not a... Yeah, I don't really want to be able to connect with this character, but it is what it is. Joe somehow slipped the book back on Peach's shelf without anyone finding out. Do we think Joe picked up a bedbug on the way out? That's what you get for breaking and entering. But, yeah, that's really all I got. Really good episode. Obviously, Beck finally has a mini big break at the mini/big break here in the writing industry, and like gets the attention of some of her peers. So I think that's going to be really good for her moving forward. Obviously, Joe. I don't know. I need some drama. We need more drama. That is kind of the point of this show. So yeah, obviously Beck and her dad and his family are kind of building rifts with each other, and she doesn't really want to associate with him, but he gives her money, so like, fuck it. You gotta kind of suffer through it. But leave a like, comment, subscribe. That is going to be all from me. I really need Peach Salinger to be a little more involved with this show. I think that would go a long way. I think that would really help push the story forward. But yeah, if there's any good NBA games tonight, obviously I'm going to be talking about them. We're going to be watching The Strangers. I think it's called The Strangers or The Stranger. I can't remember. But we're going to be watching all 5 films throughout the weeks, so just stay tuned. I think we're going to watch another one this weekend too. So, peace out, guys.